Mary Ann has trouble opening her locker. Alan Gray helps her out.
"Thanks for the help, Alan," I said, very sincerely. I needed it. Alan actually blushed. No problem?"
That was a surprisingly sweet scene with him. I hate to say it, but I kinda want Mary Ann to start dating Alan Gray.
Argo Font Book Review, Argo Font Book Review.
This book was written by Jonna Beecham and Malcolm Hill Gartner. Mary Ann's New Year's resolution is to write more letters to Dawn, because nobody in this series knows what email is yet. Mary Ann also resolves to be more outgoing, so she makes a point of talking to people who aren't Babysitters Club members. She makes friends with a bunch of people that she's paired with for a small group project in English class. Amelia Freeman is a nice, smart, down-to-earth girl. We're assured she's been friends with Mary Ann and the crew for years, even though the only time she's been mentioned before is in a crowd scene in that awful Dawn book. Barbara Hirsch is Amelia's best friend, and Gordon Brown is the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 2007 to 2010. The four of them have fun coming up with ideas. They joke about food and have a study meeting at Mary Ann's house. Amelia leaves early because her family's going to a new Italian restaurant. She wishes they could come with, but her dad's car is too small. Amelia smiles at her friends and says they're the best. In case you can't tell from the book's title, cover, or description, one of the characters dies in this book. Guess which one? Here's a hint, it's not Mallory. Claudia and Stacy listen to the radio the next morning, because all the cool girls listen to the radio before school. There's a news report about a 13-year-old who died in a car crash. The school holds an emergency assembly where they're told Amelia Freeman is the victim. A drunk driver blew through a stop sign and hit their car, killing her on impact. Everyone sits in the auditorium and cries for an hour. Surprisingly, Christy is more emotional and disturbed by the death than Mary Ann is. A teacher says Amelia will live in their memories, but absolutely no one is comforted by this. Mary Ann's safe world is ruined, because if an extremely minor background character can die in this series, then anyone can die. Amelia's death seems even more meaningless when it's revealed the drunk driver had his license revoked after 4 DUIs. He should not have been on the road that night. This should not have happened. Abby's mad about Amelia because her father died in a car accident. I wish the book had talked more about Abby, because she has the most relevant experience with car crash deaths, and she's still a relatively new character to me. I'd like to hear more about her. But the book mostly ignores Abby in favor of Claudia. Poor Claudia is the death expert of the Babysitters Club, thanks to her grandma Mimi. She tells them how to handle Amelia's grieving family members. You want to comfort them, instead of awkwardly trying to avoid them. Mary Ann does this when she sees Amelia's brother Josh. Mary Ann tells Josh how sorry she is. Josh breaks down crying. She hugs him, and he thanks her. Sharon talks to Mary Ann about a friend who died in high school. She helps Mary Ann understand it's okay to not think about someone who just died. That's not a betrayal of their memory. Christy cries a lot, and everyone goes to the funeral. We get a minor break from the sadness with Dawn's subplot. A boy is injured while going across an abandoned lot, which is littered with trash. Dawn gets mad about the lot because it's dangerous, and darn it, you should recycle! She decides they're going to turn it into a neighborhood garden. She sends a letter to the lot's owner about her plans. When she doesn't hear back from him, she decides to schedule a cleanup day. I don't know why she thinks it's okay to landscape someone else's property without their permission. Christy decides to start a local chapter for SADD, Students Against Driving Drunk. She works hard on publicity and organizing. Lots of kids sign up to join, and Christy feels better. Mary Ann still feels bleak, so she visits her therapist, Dr. Reese. I must say, it's nice to see Dr. Reese for the first time, after hearing about her in 3 other books. Dr. Reese briefly addresses Mary Ann's survivor's guilt, and she explains Christy likes being in control of everything. Amelia's unexpected death shattered Christy's illusion of control over her life. Christy organized SADD so she could feel in control again. That's how Christy dealt with her grief. Marianne makes a journal for her memories of Amelia and tries to think of something personal she can do to honor Amelia. Dawn's gardening party is a success. The owner of the lot arrives unexpectedly. At first, he's cold to everyone, but when he sees they're still working on the garden a month later, he gives in and lets them keep the community garden for good. Dawn's garden inspires Marianne to make a memory garden at the school. But since they can't plant flowers in January, the garden is just a bench with a plaque. There's a big dedication ceremony where people give speeches, and Claudia's Aunt Peaches is pregnant! Oh, good for her, but it's really out of place to announce such happy news in the last chapter of this sad, sad book. The end. Postbook follow-up. I like the start of this book, which gave us a sense of who Amelia is and what she's like. That was so nice, I wish they had replaced one of the recap chapters with a third Amelia chapter. It was also necessary to tell us who Amelia is, because she's never appeared before. It would have been way more impactful if the dead student was a character readers already knew. I would have picked a tertiary character like Pete Black or Miranda Shillaber, who were Marianne's English partners in Book 46. Barbara was one of Claudia's friends in Super Special 10. Maybe, we don't know for sure, because that Barbara didn't have a last name. Gordon is in books 19 and 52, so killing Gordon or Barbara would have been more impactful than killing Amelia. That's my main complaint for the book. They should have picked a different victim. If all they did was change Amelia's name to Erica Bloomberg and the rest of the book was exactly the same, I would consider that an improvement. I thought it was weird that no one mentions heaven or reincarnation or any sort of afterlife, not even the reverend at the funeral. But the series normally avoids any discussion of religion, even in places when you'd expect it to come up, like weddings. I thought the book was good. It is heavy and depressing the whole way through, but it does a good job of showing teenagers trying to cope with death. It gives several perspectives on grieving and positive examples that shine through the sadness. You could complain that the Dawn subplot didn't fit with the book at all, but I was okay with it. I thought it was nice to see Dawn again. I give Babysitters Club number 93, Marianne and the Memory Garden, a 9 out of 10.